prepper videos are really ramping up right now, with all kinds of fear being peddled about economic collapse, war, supply chain shortages, and other things. My question is, if you are a prepper, why is this time any different than any other time? Shouldn't you be prepping now just like any other time? As preppers, we should always be prepping. More than likely, the event we are prepping for is going to be natural disaster, storms, flooding, hurricanes, earthquakes, power outages, you know the drill. And yet the overwhelming amount of videos of late are acting like it's the end of the world. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. It shouldn't really change anything prepping. You should have never stopped prepping if you did. All the things you prep for you have absolutely no control over, so why worry about them? Do what you can to mitigate effects on you and your family. Obviously, I'm not saying to ignore what's going on, but there's no reason to worry about it. Also, none of these people truly know what's going to happen, how government actions will affect us or the economy, or if and when there will be supply chain shortages or a war or anything else. You already know the government is a big house of cards, and they aren't truthful with the American public. ANO administration has been truthful with the American public, and while I like a lot of what Trump is doing, I wouldn't expect his administration to be completely truthful with us either. So continue to prep, like you always have, for whatever contingencies are important to you. Some other bad advice I'm seeing of late is the whole city prepping charade. Now, I'm not saying if you live in the city, don't prep. But this whole idea that you are actually better off living in the city during a major SHTF scenario. Give me a break. You're closer to services, if there are any, if and when they come back online. Cities are the first place to get services restored. Yeah, again, if and when. And what about in the meantime? What's happening then? Everyone is going to come together for the greater good? If you believe that you are fooling yourself. I heard one prepper channel talk about how when he was in Kabul it was basically a SHTF situation, and how all the people who live there work together. Yeah, that's Kabul. They've lived under those type of circumstances for years. Kabul in no way compares to life in the United States or any other Western nation. Those people have lived hard lives, have had to work together. They are more mentally strong than Americans. Americans are soft. Mental illness and drug abuse ravage our country. I've worked in emergency services for over 30 years. I've watched the drug, alcohol, and mental illness problems reach critical levels. Americans by and large have no survival skills, especially the ones who live in cities. No outdoors skills. They don't know how to work the land, purify water, hunt, fish, process game. They don't know how to do the basic things our ancestors had to do to survive. Things they have to do in third world countries to survive. Things we will have to do again in a major SHTF scenario. What will happen in cities during SHTF is a huge number of people won't be able to get their mental illness medication. There's already a ton of crazies running around our cities, living in the apartments, homeless on the streets. This is going to exacerbate the problem. You probably have no idea how many of these folks with serious mental illness are out there. It's much worse than you think. I see it every day. These people, quite frankly, are going to be dangerous, unpredictable, and literally out of their unmedicated minds. You think they're going to pull together and help do all the things that need to be done to survive? You're living a fairy tale if you believe that. This is a hard truth, but truth nonetheless. How about all the drug addicts who can't get a fix? How do you think they'll respond? Desperation. That's how. People with no food, no water. They see that you have those things. How do you honestly think they're going to respond to that? Help you? Work with you? Or take what you have? Do you think the large criminal element in the city is going to stop doing criminal things, or do you think they will be emboldened by the lack of services? Lack of law enforcement? I've worked around criminals for more than 20 years. I know exactly what they will do. They will take advantage of the situation. There won't be some come-to-Jesus moment. Do you think the gang will stop doing gang stuff? Every major city in this country has a gang problem. Maybe you aren't aware of that. Maybe you don't believe that. Stop being naive about all this stuff. I'm not saying and you live in the city, don't prep. You absolutely should prep what you can. But if you live in apartments or a high-rise, what are you really going to be able to do? How will you get water when it stops running? How will you get and cook food? Stay warm? How will you do this without people who have nothing seeing you? Seeing what you have? Smelling what you're cooking? Any long-term SHTF scenario, and you better be making plans to get away from the city. Friends, family, something. As a prepper, it's foolish to plan for SHTF with the mindset for government services to return. You have no way of knowing when, or if that will even happen. Don't think you're just going to head out to the suburbs or the country when this happens either. If you haven't established those relationships or friendships ahead of time, people are not going to take you in. You'll be seen as a liability, another mouth to feed, someone with probably no useful skills. So make some friends. Join a group. Learn some useful skills. Stop listening to people tell you you'll be fine because they need to get clicks or subscribers or whatever. This advice could be a matter of living or dying. Think about it. There's always time until there isn't.